Well, hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to another video. This one is dedicated to the new moon in Gemini, happening on either the 17th or 18th, depending on your location in the world. And before we dive into the electric energy that is here, I pulled a card for us just to kind of have the vibes. Be fearless. This speaks so clearly to what is happening in this chart and what's to come over the next 4 months, because we've got Venus in Leo and she's going to be retrograding in Leo. The last video I did, which was the full moon, which I'll link below, had all the information on the gates she's going to be moving back and forth through and how this is going to be stirring up something really magical inside of you. So today, for fun, let's start with the astrology chart. Let's look and see what we have. So this is the event. This is when the new moon will hit. And you can see here, it's like 26 degrees, 43 minutes of Gemini. Now, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury happens to be in his home sign. So ideas are flowing freely and easily. We're communicating with a little bit more ease and grace. It's been a little bit hard to communicate with people lately. And, for the next couple of weeks, he's going to be hanging out in his home sign. He is moving quickly. So if you find yourself like, ideas are rolling, they're coming through so quick, you don't even know what to do with them, I'm going to remind you again, ideas book. Get your ideas book, because it will help you to land the ideas that you can move forward later on. Now, Venus and Mars are in Leo with Black Moon Lilith, I will add. And things are getting stirred up here. He's blazing the trail forward. He's going through the gates she's going to go through, and then she's going to go back over them, and then she's going to go forward again. So there is this, really reworking this area of our charts. So where is Leo house for you? This is the transit chart. So this is where it is transiting in the 5th house of this chart. But for you personally, where is this story going to play out? For me, it's happening in my 11th house. This is groups. This is like being in group, talking to my groups, being in connection, and networking and really putting the energy into the connection of relationships in my network. So videos make perfect sense to communicate with you. What else can I tell you about this chart just quickly? We'll come back to it, but that North Node and Jupiter being conjunct together, there's something here for us that's such a gift and such a blessing. It may not feel like that in the moment. Like some of you may be just like, what's happening? But I promise you, all of this is moving you forward. It always is. It just sometimes things feel like, oh my God, how much longer are we going to be here? This too shall pass, friends. This too shall pass. Now, we are still releasing South Node and Scorpio, but these are going to shift, in the next month. And when July comes, these nodes are going to move into that Aries and Libra axis, and it's going to change, about how we self-identify, how we take action, how we trailblaze, and how we're in partnership. Like, we're being set up for success here. So even though you may be like, what is happening? It does not feel like she's saying, this too shall pass. Patience is a virtue. And eventually things are going to kind of settle out, but this is your time to really be fearless and to step forward. So now I'm going to share the human design chart with you, and we're going to dive into the energies here. Again, for those of you who are brand new, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tara Kinden, and this is how I bring the energies, the energetics together for clients. I look at their human design chart, I look at their astrology chart, and we kind of start to identify like, what is the energy here that really is you authentically and wanting to be shared with the world. When we look at these charts transiting, you have all of the charts. So even, yes, you have a unique blueprint, but as the transits happen in the sky, like planets are always moving, we can't stop them, even though we'd like to, that it lights up unique parts of our chart as they're moving, which is kind of exciting. So if you have energy that's sitting and you're just like, oh, I wish this would move on, eventually it will move on and it will light up a new area, but it's always giving us something to work with so that we can grow, evolve, transform, and really step into the authentic parts of who we're here to be. Now, some people will not ever step into their full potential. And this is so sad. It is so sad because your unique human design chart will not be duplicated for 25,000 years. Yes, you heard that right, 25,000 years. And that's insane to think about. But the truth of that is, if you don't step into, the beauty of your unique chart and express yourself in ways that just feel so good to you, they will miss out. People in your life will miss out on really being able to be in your beautiful energy. Whether it's more bold, whether it's more subdued, however it works, it's for you. And when you hear about your chart, and you specifically to you, it's like you get this permission to go and live like you always wanted to live anyway. It's just like it's a permission slip to go do you. All right, let's dive in. We're going to go through the planets here. We've got at the very top is where the sun is. Then we have the Earth, North Node, South Node, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about these as we go through and what they mean and what gates they're in and how this is going to affect you energetically. The human design is the truly energetic piece. Part of human design includes the astrology. So like human design readers who do not include the astrology piece, I feel like are not giving the whole picture. And of course, there's the I Ching and there's so much more to it, but the astrology is a critical part because we're talking about these beautiful planets. And this is, an ancient language that we're learning and we're integrating it into us. So even just having your chart, and I'll show you, like I print out a little wee chart of my own chart and I leave it here. So there is something new I learn every single time I look at my own chart. And it's like something within you will automatically feel connected to your chart, even if you're like, I don't even know what it is. Doesn't matter. Print it out. So when we have open centers, which are these, okay, all the white is open. This means you're going to amplify this energy, okay? What's defined or colored in is something that this chart is very comfortable with. So when you're looking at your own chart, what's open is something you're amplifying from people, places, and things around you. What's defined is something you just like, it, you feel it, you got it. It happens like that all the time, okay? You're more comfortable with it if we're just going super basic. Now, this chart energy is manifestor energy. You can see here, it's an emotional manifestor. Well, emotional is the definition. And sometimes people don't identify with their type. So just think about, okay, well, what is this energy? It's an initiating energy. It's starting something new. It's getting something going. And we need to feel into, emotional is energy in motion. We need to feel into where this is going and how this is moving through us, right? So when we look at the sun being in the gate 12 is the channel. This is like direct line to source. You're getting insights, you're getting information. You're like, where did that come from? I don't know, but it came from somewhere and it's for you if you heard it. So maybe it's auditory for you, but it's the ability to hear something and, then communicate it outwardly. So if something comes through to you and it's like, ba, 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 and it's so easy to say it, this is meant for you. And this is how that channel works. And remember, when it's a new moon, the sun and the moon are together in the same gate and in the same sign. So they're both in Gemini and gate 12. So you're feeling into this channel energy and you're basically like shining in it, So if you don't know what to do with it, like you get some insights or whatever, put them in your ideas book, go back to them later. It will make sense later if it's not making sense now. So pressure off, just be in it and feel it when we're grounded in ideas. Okay. So this is literally the gate of the conceptualist, gate 11. And this is about ideas. You're getting insights, ideas, inspirations, motivations about what you're going to do next. And some of you will get so many ideas, you'll have nowhere to start. So be fearless in your approach. Just go for it. Throw the spaghetti at the wall and see what happens. If you are pumped about something and it's feeling correct and it feels really good, do it. Do it. Some of you are going to need time to process this. Remember, this emotionality is like there's a wave to the how we will ride this energy. So by writing them down, if it keeps coming back and it's still like a hell yes, then you can implement this. Go for it. What's the worst thing that happens? Doesn't work and you try something else. We have to detach from, the failure. Like, yeah, everybody fails. There's things that we fail at all the time, but who cares? You're going to move forward and try something new. That's the idea. You don't give up. Don't give up. All right. South node is in the gate 28. Did I talk about the north node? I don't think I did. So that's the gate of accountability. This is where we teach people how to fish instead of always giving them the fish. So if you are running a home and you're doing all the things, you're making sure everybody else is taken care of. I laugh because I saw an Instagram post where the woman was like, oh, look, I'm trying to fill my cup. And she had 2 cups, empty cups, and a cup of water. And it was literally filling the other person's cup and not filling her cup, which was kind of funny, not funny, but this is the gate here. It's like, if you continue to give to everyone else, there will be nothing left in your cup. You will have an empty cup. So that's where we're going, is learning how do we take care of, nurture, support our energy. Like that's your one commodity. It's the only thing you can barter with, money is energy, work is energy, like relationships are energy. It's all about how your energy is. If your energy stinks, everything else starts to stink. So how do you clean it up? Don't worry, I'll tell you about that later. But South Node being in the gate 28, this is the gate of adventure and challenge. So what have we been through? What have we just come through and are on the other side of, or what have we just like, oh, we're finally, getting that lesson. This is where you become the teacher as opposed to being the student, and you share from your life experiences, the things you've gone through. I'd rather learn from somebody who's had the actual experience than someone who read it in a book. Walk me through the fire. If I'm wanting someone to be my mentor or be my coach, like I want to have had them walk through that fire and they know how to help me, like legitimately, instead of like, yes, I read this in a book and now I'm going to walk you through it. It's going to be great. Like, what? No, you can't trust that person. Just saying. I mean, you do what you want, but I wouldn't. Now, we talked about the gate 12. We talked about seeing the gate of the channel. So there is stuff that you're just receiving from beyond, spirit, God, source, gusts, good orderly direction, like whatever it is for you is what it is for you. Now, in the gate 35 is where our beautiful Mercury is. Mercury is happy in his home sign of Gemini. And again, he is here to help us communicate, help us to get the word out there, help us to be in our power. And when we look at gate 35, it's the gate of experience. So we've been talking a little bit about experience. We've been talking about what's worth it to share, like what is worth it for you to share from your experience, what you've gone through, what you've been through, because your experience and your ability to communicate your story is what will change somebody else's life. And this is, again, where you move from being that student all the time to finally becoming the teacher. What would that feel like for you? And some of you are like shaking in your boots like a little chihuahua, but you'll be fine. It's just that first little bit of getting it out there. And you don't need to share all the gory details. Share what you feel like would help someone move forward, And if you're like, what, I don't share with anybody, share with your family, share with your friends. I'm sure you're the one they call for the advice anyways. You already have a leg up. You're here. You're learning about your, the transits that are going to happen. How am I going to integrate this? And how's it going to feel for me? Well, everyone else is like, the wheels are coming off my bus. You know what I mean? So you're on it. You're here. You got it. Now let's talk about Venus. Because remember, Venus is how we calibrate to our self-worth, our self-value, what we desire, what we want, what we crave. She teaches us so much more than just love. Like, yes, she teaches us about love. How do we love ourselves? Are we lovable? Do we feel love? Like all of that is Venus's domain. Money, love, value, worth, all of it. That's her domain. And she's in the gate 33. This is the gate of retelling, and Mars is already blazed through here. It's off the throat center. So how am I communicating? How am I retelling the stories from my experience, my personal experience, so that you can help people change their own narrative? Like, you've had all these experiences, and some of them have been absolutely horrible. But how can you change the narrative of that story to speak from the evolution that you went through to become the person you are in this moment? You're a different human being than you were back then. The experience you had at the time was probably not easy to see in hindsight how that actual horrible experience shifted you to be able to do what you're doing now in this totally brand new way. And that's how we retell a story. It's telling it from a higher level instead of being like staying in victim mode in it, you know what I mean? So again, it's a choice how you tell a story, but Mars having blazed through there made us look at it. Now Venus is helping us reframe it, and she's going to continue to reframe it because she's going to go back over it and then going to go forward again. So if you haven't reframed your story, friends, don't worry, it's going to happen. And I want you to remember to be fearless in the approach. This moon is initiating something new. New moons move us forward. New moons give us a new opportunity to decide what we want and to choose something new. So what are you choosing that's new about your story? Now, Mars, the man of action, is in gate 7, which is the gate of collaboration, which runs off of our heart center, our G center. This is like our truest connection. Like, how do we want to be in relationship with people? How do we want to collaborate? Who do we want to collaborate with? This is where you're going to do all that questioning. Like, I don't think I feel aligned in this group anymore. I don't think I feel aligned with these people anymore. I don't think I feel aligned with these collaborations. I've grown from there. I've shifted from there. That's going to happen a lot over this next 4 months. So be open to what shifts and changes, and don't feel guilty or responsible for needing to drag people with you, because sometimes people are here for a reason. Sometimes they're here for a season, and sometimes it's complete. You've learned the lesson you needed to learn together. So paying attention to who do I want to collaborate with and what feels good. Feeling is everything. If you feel like, so whatever you think about creates a feeling. Whatever you're feeling around that thought creates a frequency off the heart. The frequency off the heart is going to attract the, ideally, depending on how you're feeling, the appropriate relationships, experiences, and opportunities that are hyper aligned with what you're thinking about. So if you're thinking about, well, I have to stay with these people because these are the people that have been with me forever, and whatever the story is, you're not honoring the process of evolution and moving you forward, right? You're staying stuck. So just a quick thing to think about, because you don't have enough already to think about. Now, Jupiter, this is the planet of expansion, the planet of buoyancy, and all the big things. He's in gate 27, which is also that gate of accountability. The North Node and Jupiter are conjunct in Taurus. Okay, so remember, Taurus is about what we're building. It's very earth grounded. It's very stable. It likes things to be, just so. So what are we taking the time to build for ourselves? What do we want to build? And Jupiter's like, whatever you're thinking about, I'm ready to expand it. So remember, there's this accountability piece. You can't, drag people forward. You have to teach them how to do it themselves so it can free you up. The more space you have, the more creative you can become. When you're jammed up, you have no energy, you can't have the space to be creative. Teaching people how to do things for themselves gives you more space to do the things you want to do. We're not talking about a 1-year-old here. You know what I mean? We're talking about like the people who know how to do things that just continue to rely on you for the stuff because you just do it. It's time to like put an end to that and fearlessly put an end to it. Because I know if you're a person who is very empathetic and supportive of all the people, you're going to be like, but I feel like, no, just no. No. Okay. Saturn. Saturn's in the gate of peace, gate 37, right here. all we want is peace. Like as manifestors in general, manifestors like peace. If they're angry, they're not in peace. They just want to feel a state of peace. So if you're feeling angry and you're feeling these outbursts during this new moon, I can assure you Saturn is not happy because he's not feeling in peace. Remember, Saturn is in Pisces. Go be creative. The more you create the space, this just goes back to creating space, teaching people how to do their own thing so you can have more spaciousness in your body, in yourself, in your emotions, and that creates peace, right? Being grounded in those ideas, like the more connected you are to this peace and space, the easier they're going to flow through you and to you, you know? Now, Uranus is in gate 23. Gate 23 also runs off the throat. Gate 23 is about transmission. It's the ideas you're getting and your ability to quickly like put them out into the world. This can be like a freakishly quick kind of like, you just say this thing, you're like, what? They have no idea what you're talking about. That's okay. You're just ahead of the times, you know, and this is where we're all experiencing this energy is, you know, it's so fast. It's so forward thinking that not everybody's going to get it. And that's okay. The people who will get it are your people and they understand because they're on that same wavelength. You know, you're hearing people talking about switching timelines and like things are moving quicker and we're in a different place than we were. Like, newsflash, we all know that. But we're like, some people don't understand how, like, what do you mean by timeline? Just put it this way. You're getting ideas for the future and you're helping pave the path for the future right now. If you are here and you're listening to this, you are one of these women who is really going to be helping pave the path for generational healing around things like money, around things like creativity. Oh, I can make money as a creator? Yes. Yes, you can. And Saturn is going to help us do this while he's in Pisces, but just know that that is the energy. And Neptune, you know, being higher consciousness, being this big, you know, openness to that creative side of ourselves, that the side of ourselves that is so different is in gate 36, which is so highly attuned to emotional energy. How we feel is literally everything. How we feel creates that frequency, right? So what we want to be very conscious of is when he's in gate 36, which is about exploration, it's holding on to this bigger vision of the future. It's going to be very easy to get, you know, pulled out of that with the collective narrative of negativity and the doomsday type stuff. So if you are experiencing that, find a new community. Find a community that just speaks to your heart and speaks to your emotions. Like, yeah, I feel safe here. That's the kind of community. And you will know and you will trust yourself enough to move out of places and move into places that help you feel good in the energy of it all, right? We're moving so towards a feeling society as opposed to a thinking society. Not that you're not going to think, but you know what I mean. So lastly, let's talk about Pluto. Pluto's in the gate of conservation. He's been hanging out here forever, down off the root center. Now, remember when I was talking about the nodes in the astrology chart they're going to be moving in July to that Libra and Aries axes. Well, this is going to shift all of the energy into like security, safety, and ourselves. Our root chakras are kind of going to get a reprogramming. So Pluto is here just reminding you, conserving your energy, being aware of what you're impulsed into and plugging yourself into the right things. That will be the key here. So let me stop this share. Let me come back to you for a hot second, and then we're going to just lastly look at that astrology one more time to see if there's something else that kind of comes up while we're in it. But I want you to know and remember, you know, this energy of this new moon is literally about you embracing this new. It's so new. The energy feels so new, and it may feel very uncomfortable. Some of you have already had like crazy experiences over the last month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's been like super intense. So I feel like we need to just take a deep breath and a hot second to be like, okay, how can I ground myself. It will be in ideas, okay? It will be letting ideas flow freely to you. So coming back to the astrology, just that reminder, we have Mercury making a sextile to Venus. They're working together here to build something in the divine feminine, speaking to the feminine, talking to the feminine, whether you're a man or a woman, we all share this masculine and feminine energy, okay? And how we receive and how we take action and give. And we're learning how to communicate about our needs. This is all that accountability stuff, right? What do you need that you're not getting? How can you try to start asking for that? Well, the energy is good in that Mercury is in his home sign and communication is a little bit easier. So you're going to find the words more easily during this new moon energy, right? And then we're going to go into solstice and it's going to be a really lovely time, but it's new. And with the new sometimes comes the discomfort of like, oh, I don't know what to do with all of this, or you may be stuck in your head about the things. So to come out of your head and down to earth, we're looking at that North Node and Jupiter expanding. Go garden. The ideas may come to you while you're doing something, or walking, taking off your shoes and planting your feet into the ground, not legitimately planting them. Y'all know what I mean. But like letting yourself feel connected and grounded, especially when things get really big. But I will just, the energy of Leo is calling you forward. It's really propelling you onto the stage. And for some of you, you're like kicking and screaming behind the curtain, like, no, no. But you don't have a choice because people need to hear from you. You've got something to say. You've got something to show. Maybe you're creating secretly, in your little cubby hole somewhere in your house, but there's such a beautiful creation you're making that it's time for you to be seen as the creator, this is here for all of you. Maybe you just want to be seen differently. Maybe there's something there around that for you. So there's a lot of magic in the chart, a lot of, fun, exciting, new energy. We have Chiron and Black Moon Lilith speaking together. So this can always be a really fun energy of like really going deep and self-identifying, like with or releasing the self-identifying to a wound you received, or you're healing parts of your story, parts of who you are in a very like quick, fast kind of way. Like, I'm done with this. I'm moving forward, release, burn, let go. And then you're stepping forward into and onto your stage, using your voice and letting people not only hear you, but see you as this, beautiful communicator. And it can be messy for a while. Maybe you don't want to actually be seen. You want to write. Maybe these are all the things you can be thinking about and exploring. Well, Pluto is moved back into Capricorn. He is definitely making us look at the structures, the systems, and things are changing and shifting. They will continue to change and shift. Do not go deep into the doomsday talk because it will shift your energy into places that it does not need to be stuck. So that is that, my friends. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to share with you something really special that I've been working on, because I know a lot of you are like, I want to learn more about my own human design. I want to learn more about my own astrology and how can I use this and how can I integrate it? No, it's like about integrating. So I created a membership called Celestial. I'm going to put the details below. You can go check it out if it speaks to you. Baseballs. I would love to have you in because I know how to help you grow. It is my jam. I want you to own your stage. I want you to be in your power. I want you to navigate these waves of energy in the most confident way. But when it's messy, which it will be, like if anyone tells you it's never going to be messy again, they're straight up lying to you and you should walk away. But it will be messy. This is life. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. And we have to have a power posse and a support system to fall back into when like the wheels are off the bus and you don't know which way to turn. You need somewhere to just be like, we got you as you figure it out. We got you as you get your footing. We got you while you experiment and explore and try to put out new creations. And then somebody says, who are you to create that? You fall back into the community, right? So there's a couple ways you can come in. You can come in just like if you're somewhere in the world and you can't get access to the physical box, you can be part of the energy of the community. You'll have access to the new moon videos. And so I do these freebies. So you imagine this is like free. What I do for my people in the membership is like help you really understand. You get a chance to be asking questions, be live with me, and it goes deeper. It helps you go deeper, which is the idea. Like, get to know who you are. The more you get to know who you are, the more powerful you can become in your life, in your community, in your relationships. And by powerful, I mean just like self-assured, self-confident, self-aware, and self-led. Like literally, you don't need to rely on everyone else to make your decisions. It's like you trust yourself first. Okay. So there's that option of just the membership alone, and it is worth its weight in gold. So details will be below. And then for those of you who are like, I want that and a beautiful box of goodies with like your special candles, you will also be able to have that option. Okay. So both of the options will be there for those of you who feel like, yeah, I'm ready. I want to go deeper. You're my people. Join me. Fearlessly join me so your life can be transformed in the container because of you, because of anybody else, but because of you. Thank you, my friends, for being here. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. I'm so happy we had this time together. Happy new moon. Let the magic be magic and no pressure to figure it all out. Just be in the energy, feel how it feels. If it feels funky, go move the issues out of your tissues and let it pass. This too shall pass, and it will all make sense at some point. So if it doesn't all make sense right away, who cares? It'll be fine. You'll be fine. And that is all for today. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will be back very soon for another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.